This is Forte360 with whatever this guy's tag is. Who cares about this guy? It's only on his profile. So this is my Saber deck that I've been rocking for the last couple of years. Not like terribly good at tournaments, but then again, I'm not good at this game. But I love the deck, and I hope you guys too. Right now, I'm running 3 Foul Troll for the special summoning. I'm running 3 Dark Soul. I didn't want to get the super rares because the super rares suck. But I still think it's good that they reprinted a lot of this stuff, just because I like it when they reprint stuff, and I like that they reprinted this entire. You need 3 of these. This is the only tuner among the double X Sabers. It's got a really decent effect. Like even not an X Saber, just the fact that she's a 3-star tuner that can negate stuff. And like every so often, I'll get out like Book of Moon, which I'll be showing you that later. But if this hits a defense position monster, usually you can get back into this guy, or you can get back into Emer's Blade. Something you need to know about Dark Soul, though, that most of you are probably aware of. If you're not, I'm just going to say it now. Dark Soul, it used to be that if Dark Souls, or even a single Dark Soul, got sent to the graveyard multiple times, you get that many searches off its effect. And it's been ruled now that you only get to search once off its effect, no matter how many you send or how many times it's sent. But though, regardless, it's still good, because that means you don't... Because people started getting in the bad habit of trying to summon as many of these as possible before going to Gothams or Trish or whatever, and this makes it easier so you don't have to go through all that trouble. Which leads me to our next monster, Double X Saber Emer's Blade. This card's really interesting because it took me a long time to get, and I mean I kept getting like my deck stolen, and this card just keeps coming back to me. The last ones I had, I sold like right before they announced that the Supers were coming out. It's a really good. It really is a. You need 3 of these. I've never seen a deck work without a playset. It does suck when they summon like Caius or whatever, but people usually have that problem with Caius, no matter what conditions Caius is being summoned at. So it's not. So overall, it's a really good card. It'll search a lot of your stuff, and of course you have your combo. You can still go into Naturia Barkon. You can still go into Hindley. You can still get Trish. Like I said earlier, usually you'll be having these 3 on the field, or so you can go to Trish. So you go to Trish, remove 3, and you still get to search. So now as for swarming, the 3 Boggart Knight really help. It really helps in that stretch where you could win if you get your Foul Troll combo out. More often than not, you'll have an empty field. So topping into this usually has helped me, but only when I had another monster summon him with. On his own, he's useless, to be perfectly honest. The only other time is like a random situation where you just summon him and poke him for like 5 turns, and they never do anything because your hand's that bad. Because that sort of thing actually happens in tournaments, sure. Then X Saber Arabellum. This is a real wild card for me, because depending on the situation, this can either be a game breaker or this can really bad. I mean, I wouldn't recommend, if you're up against like Dark Worlds, I'd recommend siding this out like immediately. But ever so often you'll come in this situation like first turn, the opponent will just hold on to, he'll have Gores in hand and play nothing. And that's a good opportunity to pull this out, because you're essentially getting rid of 2 cards. I mean, sure, he's got Gores out, but if you have something to fall back on maybe next turn, or you have enough trap cards to support a Mirror Force, Deep Prison, that sort of thing. We'll be getting into that later. Then this tends to become really good. Also, I've noticed if it's really good for when they have like a face down. You can summon the full, and you have the full Helm Knight and to punch over a monster. You can bring back Arabellum and peel a card that way. So overall, being able to peel a card is really good for this deck. As for more on the defensive side, we have the Dark Soul and the Emer's Blade. Those are really good defensive monsters because of the searching qualities. But every so often you'll come against a deck like Disaster Dragon that's like really annoying, always has big monsters. The card that usually makes them cry is this X Saber Paschal. Now most people seem to sleep on this. They seem to forget that Paschal's effect that does damage to you only works while he's in defense mode. So there might be some situations, say they have a Sangan face up on the field and they can't summon anything else. If that stays face on the field, it's better to leave Paschal in attack mode, because it won't die regardless. Then if they attack over the Sangan, you only take 900. Plus there's the off chance that they decide not to attack with the Sangan, maybe because they're afraid of back rows or whatever. Against like Deep Prisoner or stuff like that. But otherwise, having a 2-star tuner gives me access to Catastrophe and Naturia Beast with both Dark Soul and Emer's Blade, in which case with Dark Soul I get Search. Plus with the Hindley summons, which I'm going to get to later, between summoning this guy and that guy, and also gives me Gives me good access to overall. It gives me good access to 6 stars. And it gives me good access to 8 stars too. Because if I summon him, special him, and then special Foul Troll afterwards, I can go into Hind Lane, use Foul Troll, bring back Pastoral, and then sync with this in the Hind Lane and get on any other 8 star. So it's pretty good. Now as for the extra stuff I kind of teched in, my main tech card right now is a 2 Effect Veilers. Which your tech cards don't have to be Effect Veilers. They can be DD Crows. Pretty much anything you'd want to side out for a tournament. Although Effect Veilers are good in the main, just because there's such a versatile card. Plus it's a 1-star tuner. Not that you'll be using it that much as a tuner, but the effect is still good. The only time you'd ever want to use it as a tuner is if you have like a Gorge sitting on the field and you can go into like 9 or go into 9 with like a Gorge token and you have nothing else to use the Effect Veiler on. Which brings us to Gorge the Emissary of Darkness, which is a really good tech card in this deck. There's I went to a regional recently, and I was surprised to find out a lot of people sleep on this card. So, and it's Gorge. Don't need to explain it really. Just whatever. Complain to me in the comments as much as you want. I can't be bothered to explain all this stuff. Well, most of it. I like YouTube, just not the trolls. All right, so that's our monster lineup. And then I'll post this online sometime, probably never. I'm a college student. I've got some hardcore procrastinating to do. All right, for spells and traps. Your biggest problem, the biggest problem, like you always see with swarming is all those pesky spell and traps that often get your way. Book of Moon, Dimensional Prison, Bottomless Trap Hole, Solemn Warning, all that sort of thing. So I run a playset of Mystical Space Typhoons. You don't have to run 3. You can, you're certainly able to mix and match. Although my recommendation is you run at least 2. The only reason you would take one out is probably put in like an enemy controller or like a crap. I can't really think of anything besides enemy controller.
Anything better than that?
There's not really anything better than enemy controller. I can't think of anything better than for the sake of this. Well, I main deck Book of Moon.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Spoiler alert. I also run a playset of Pot of Duality. And Pot of Duality hasn't really hurt me really. The only time Pot of Duality ever sucks is I'll have like a really good Foul Troll play lined up. Then I'll top into Pot of Duality and I'll be tempted to try and activate both. And I know I can. And it's not really what I call a hindrance unless of course I'm actually dumb enough to use the Pot of Duality. But it does. But overall, it hasn't really hurt me. And most of the time, especially first turn, the most you're going to be doing is like setting a Dark Soul or setting an Ember's Blade or setting a Pastoral or just you won't be There's really no need to do any massive swarming in this deck, especially on the first turn. Now late game, you don't want to do any mass swarming until you know you can get the swarm off. What am I doing? I'm putting this stuff away. I run more than this, you noobs. Stupid people of the internet getting hyped up on me being a noob. Alright, so the rest of the spell cards I run are just staples. Dark Hole for obvious reasons, Heavy Storm for obvious reasons, plus the ones I mentioned earlier. Book of Moon, then Book of Moon, you need this in the deck mostly because of this card right here. I was really surprised that the guy pulled a Caius on me and almost had game. I was down to like 400 life points. I summoned Full Helm, attacked with the Full Helm, booked the Caius. And I got back Arabellum. So, you know the process. You lost to it a lot. So did you.
Hey, shut up.
It's true.
So Monster Reborn, obviously. And because there are enough tuners to support the deck, I think besides the Veilers, I run like 6 tuners. Like 2 Pastorals, Saber, Arabellum, and 3 Full Helm. Mind Control comes in handy with this deck a lot. So that's the spell lineup. You don't need the 3 Duality. I would recommend at least 1. For the people who don't want to run Pot of Duality, that's fine, but I would recommend enemy controllers for the same reason you'd use Book of Moon. What's wrong? You're like hurrying me along.
Going on 10 minutes. No one wants to sit here that long.
Of course they do. We're funny. We're not. I'm just straight up, we're not.
You want to go see Funny, go watch Epic Meal Time. They better give me some money for that.
They probably won't. They probably will if we like cook bacon. Banana wrapped bacon. What the? So, for traps, I run the Solemn Warning lineup. Solemn Judgment. It's good. It's good. I wouldn't. It's better offensively than defensively. To be perfectly honest, defensively implies that you're trying to block a play and losing half your life points. If they recover from that play, you're pretty screwed. Even especially early game, whereas like not activating Solemn Judgment would probably have been better. But you know, who knows? Solemn Warnings, just because they're Solemn Warnings. I tried Bottomless Trap Hole in this deck. I just don't like it. But I run Trap Dust Shoot, which me and my friend Jaden, we both think think this is probably the most powerful card in this format, and I agree. Then there's a Mirror Force for
Obviously.
obvious reason. Yeah, Eternal Tribute.
Obviously.
And then of course, just because it's the most broke card in the deck, Gotham's Emergency Call. Yeah, he hates that card.
Everybody does.
I mean, I was really surprised at first too, like special summon 2 X-Saber monsters in your graveyard, but no, it's any 2 X-Saber monsters in your graveyard.
Just go through the synchros that we need because we're going on 11 minutes.
Synchros that we need going on
Just
11 minutes.
only the ones that we need. You don't need to go through all of them.
falling asleep.
Oh, I gotta get those out. Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, and the Xyz.
Hey, Gorge token.
Gore's token. Mega Man X.
I have these extra XCs. I swap out depending on what tournament I'm playing and what I need. But as for general stuff, you don't have to run 2 Gothams. I would recommend at least 1 just because of the card peeling property. Then of course I run 2. Where's the second one? There you are. Hey, sexy. So I run the 2 Highlight, amazing backfield of destruction, unless of course they have Solemn Warning face down. You guys can probably tell I hate Solemn Warning.
Starlight Road.
That's why you run
Oh,
that.
dude, I hate Starlight Road. I side deck.
I hate this card. This card sucks.
Naturia Bark, Naturia Beast. These cards are godlike in X Sabers.
I had one of these.
The only problem you need to look out for is that if you try to go to Naturia Barkion, more often than not you'll find yourself trying to summon it using a Boggart Knight, and you can't.
You can make
obviously.
it 15 minutes.
Yeah, I'm going for the 15-minute counter. There's Brio for obvious
I don't even know
reasons.
if we can upload it after 15 minutes.
Indeed. All right, Black Rose Dragon. Just because it's Black Rose Dragon. I was surprised. You don't get Black Rose Dragon out in this deck as often as you'd think. Most of the time I got it out using Mind Control.
Nope, you don't.
Hmm?
You don't get it out as much as you said you do. Come on, just
Anyways.
Shut up. Stardust Dragon. I run 2 just because this deck needs back row protection. A lot of people have criticized me for putting in Red Dragon Archfiend. I like him better than X-Saber Urbellum, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, it even works when I'm sitting here putting all these face down cards because that's the only way I can get effects.
It's really
same
good.
here with my friend Dan.
It's
Oh, no.
it's
Red
legit,
Dragon should
it's
be
legit,
given a lot of credit.
yeah, it's legitimately good. Scrap Dragon, which it's not as powerful as Red Dragon, but it's one of the best synchros I've ever had the pleasure of using. Then I have Catastor because it's easy to summon. Then going on to the level 9 and Exceeds. I only run 1 Exceed monster. If I had Zen mains, it'd be good because because it's just as easy to get out.
Maybe
Plus,
we need Utopia.
it's a good and Zen mains would be a good combo with Scrap Dragon. Not that I would usually have them both on the field at the same time, but still. Then the most common one I try to get to early game is Trishula. It used to be I tried to summon Gothams all the time, but if you can get Trishula out, it's almost an automatic win. The only thing, it's an automatic win, except for against. Did I pull that against the Psychic deck earlier today?
Trishula?
Yeah.
I think you did.
I don't remember getting out Trishula. If I did, I mean, not that it would help. Not that it would hurt that deck that much.
Oh, no.
But yeah, I don't have a side deck built, so just go ahead and end the video or make a funny face or say something stupid, like saying something stupid like Smosh is good.
Yeah. Man, you're gonna get a letter.
Oh, I know I am. I'm counting on it.
All right, guys, this has been your second favorite Russian in the group. That's what's his face? I don't even know.
You don't know my name?
No, Forza 360.
Forte 360.
However,
My name.
however, I'm not gonna say it. See you guys.